What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 23 My Team Career Mode. And my goodness, is it difficult not to say 22 after 160 videos of the former. But yes, we are now in F1 23, and this is race number 2 of a 23 race season to kick things off. We just had the Bahrain Grand Prix and it did not go fantastically, I will be perfectly honest with you. We got 9 laps in, I believe it was, and then the car broke down, and as you're about to find out, it was an MG UK failure, which is rather unfortunate, but it means that yes, we're gonna have to replace a component already. And to make matters worse, we're having upgrades fail left, right, and center. Our plank failed, our plank upgrade, and also our gearbox upgrade also failed, which means that yes, we've got no upgrades coming apart from possibly this front wing adjuster bracket upgrade, which might be coming in 5 days time. But yeah, we are finally going to replace the MG UK, and hopefully the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, which we're going to be doing today, is going to go slightly better than the Bahrain Grand Prix went. We typically go quite well around here, at least as far as F1 22 was concerned. You know, I had a number of wins here and a number of strong performances. But anyway, let's find out. Is this upgrade getting on the car? No, it isn't. So we are bringing no upgrades to Saudi Arabia, as it turns out, which is not what I was hoping for. You know, we are currently the worst car on the grid, and with the increased level of R&D point gain and acclaim gain and cash gain that the AI get compared to us, we need everything we can get, and this is not what I would want to see to start things off. So yeah, we're gonna have to try and hope that we don't have too many more failures if possible. But I think the morale in all of my departments is pretty low at the moment, so maybe I should do some events soon to try and boost the morale or something like that. But yeah, here we are, Saudi Arabia, and I don't know what the target is here. I think maybe, honestly, despite the fact that we've got a not great car, we could have a shot at points here. I don't want to jinx myself and end up causing any issues or anything like that. But you know, I typically outperform the car at Saudi Arabia compared to how I usually perform in most races. This is one that's a lot stronger for me. So yeah, I'm hoping that we will be able to maybe get into sort of the top 12 or something like that. I think that's a reasonable target. But P4 in practice, looking good. We were looking quite good here, to be honest. I actually put in my notes, I just hope we're not too good, you know, because otherwise it might transpire that we're on maybe too low a difficulty setting, especially with Fittipaldi down there in P21 by comparison. But yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, practice is never a representative session. I could bump the difficulty uploads now, and then I could get absolutely walked in practice. So we're going to keep things on 95, which is where they are for the time being. You know the drill. If I win a rivalry, it goes up. If I lose a rivalry, it goes down. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We don't have any capacity to do any upgrades at the moment, so we're going to be waiting on that front as well. And yeah, now we're going to be getting ready to get into the qualifying session. So yeah, I think the target here is going to be Q2 once again. I think maybe there exists a slight chance of us sneaking into Q3 ahead one of the Alpines. Maybe, but generally speaking, I'd say that Q2 is probably going to be the target. If we can mix it with the likes of the Hasses and the Alphas and Norris and the McLaren and those guys, I think that will be the goal here. So here we are now on a fresh set of soft compound tires. It's our first run in Q1, and we're going to see what kind of time we can do as we come on the run up to the line. It's going to be a 1:31.4, and that was actually a second slower than my fastest time in practice. So I know that there is room for improvement here, and hopefully we can find it on our second run. We're going to have to use another set of tyres to get through, unfortunately, I think, especially as we're currently down in P20. But as you see, as I come through what is one of the last few corners on this track before the final DRS zone, we're only a tenth up, and we need to improve by like 5 or 6 tenths in order to get into Q2. So I think this could not go well for us. Unfortunately, I just couldn't seem to hook a lap up like I did in practice. You know, I did a 1:30.4 in the qualifying pace sim in practice, and that would have certainly been good enough to get us through. But as things stand, I'm not even improving by a tenth. It's going to be a 1:31.3 as we cross the line, and that is only going to be good enough to keep us P20, which, yeah, we out-qualify 2 cars. Not what I was hoping for here. So yeah, that is going to be the end of practice for us, unfortunately. We get comprehensively outperformed by both Alfa Romeos, both Alpines, both Hasses, both of the McLarens as well, and both of the AlphaTauris. So basically all of the cars around us that we could potentially have been competing with, say for the Williams of Logan Sargent, we got outperformed by. Really disappointing, all things considered, and I hope that we can find a bit of improvement in the race. I'd like to target at least sort of P15. I think that would be reasonable. I don't think that we'll stay as far down as we are at the moment. But either way, like, man, that is not what I was hoping would happen, and not what I was expecting would happen either at all. So hopefully we can find a bit of improvement in the race. But yeah, that is maybe I got my difficulty set too high. I don't know. But no, the thing is, I just didn't get a lap hooked up together. I'm still getting used to the game, even though I played it basically all day yesterday after I recorded the video in the morning. So I'm getting a bit more used to it, but yeah, still in a bit of a bedding in phase, I guess, and hopefully I'll continue to improve as things go on. But let's see if we can do anything to improve our position as we get into the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
We're here today on the shores of the Red Sea in the lower Hijaz Mountains to visit one of the newest circuits in the Formula One calendar, Jeddah, home to what we all hope is going to be a thrilling Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at a topographical map of the Jeddah Street circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And the smooth operator, Carlos Sainz, completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Hamilton, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Norris, Bottas, Gasly, Magnussen, Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Joe, Tsunoda, Albon, Stroll, De Vries, Oscar Piastri, Robinson, Sargent, Robinson. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And we welcome Anthony Davidson, former Formula One driver, to the commentary box. And the final moments for the drivers down there on the grid. What is going through their mind? Can we begin by having a chat about Charles Leclerc?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? So we're in for an exciting start then, I'm sure, and then they'll all start to settle down a bit and try and find a rhythm as they plan the next phase of the Grand Prix. It's important to know when to push and when to hold back so as not to overcook those tyres early on.
So, starting from P20, can we do anything? Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc will be starting from pole position again, but we all know that he got pole position in Bahrain and couldn't hold on to that against the Red Bulls. Ended up losing out to both Verstappen and his teammate as well, Carlos Sainz. So yeah, we'll see if he can do anything to hold on to the lead here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix by comparison. We're going to have to wait a little while this time before we can get away on the formation lap, and that's because we're all the way down in P20. If you want to get away earlier, the way to do it is to qualify better. I definitely think the car has more pace in it than I've been showcasing so far. You know, we managed to put a decent lap together in Bahrain in qualifying, but in the race we just went backwards, and I mean, it would be hard to go backwards here. We've only got 2 cars behind us, but it is possible, I guess. Sargent was looking decent in Bahrain, but I hope that we can at least stay ahead of him and maybe challenge some of the cars in front off the start. As we line up on the grid, we actually miss our starting grid slot, and now we're going to get ready to go as the lights come on. And the lights go out, and it's been a pretty good start once again. You can see that I am challenging the likes of Stroll and Piastri and both the AlphaTauris, but I have to back out a little bit because there was a gap that was closing very fast between De Vries and Tsunoda, and now we're under pressure from Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. Who's going to win out in the scenario? I am on the outside, but again, we have to back out because Tsunoda is right there, unfortunately. Stroll on our inside, we have to give him a bit of space, almost going to the back of Tsunoda, and yeah, in the end, we managed to just about hold on to P18, so we've already made up 2 spots on the starting lap here at Saudi Arabia, and now we're going to see if we can go on the hunt for Yuki Tsunoda in the AlphaTauri. A few cars in front of us I definitely think we can get ahead of today, including both of these AlphaTauris of Tsunoda and De Vries, the Williams of Albon, there's the Haas of Nico Hulkenberg just ahead of those guys as well, which I think we should be able to get ahead of, and then an Alfa Romeo as well, which we might be able to contend with, although the Alfa Romeos are looking a little bit faster than some of the other cars around us so far this season, and therefore that might not be as easy as I'm saying. We've got a bit of a run here on Alex Albon. We're going to sneak up the inside, make sure that he's forced to give us a bit of space here, and yeah, we burn a little bit of battery as we come on the run down to this corner, and who's going to win out here? He's squeezed to the inside of the corner. We actually have to go over the corner to avoid making contact with him, and we do get a warning for that, but we were ahead by the time we got there, so we don't have to give the position back, and that is P17 that we are up to on the first lap of this race, and that's a pretty good start, you know, 3 places gained, and I mean already the Ferraris and the Red Bull of Sergio Perez are breaking away out in front. Verstappen had a grid penalty, which meant he was starting 12th, so he's still you know, he's still in amongst the drivers around us. And now we're going to see if we can get a run on Yuki Tsunoda down into the first corner. We dummy him to the inside, move to the outside, and we're going to see if we can sweep around the outside of him at the chicane here. Stick our wheel up the inside at the corner, and we just about managed to hold on to the position. And now we're going to see if we can close down his teammate, Nick De Vries, for P15 in this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's been a very strong start, you know, just over 1 lap and we're already up 4 positions. It's pretty much a complete opposite of what happened in Bahrain, where I was really struggling for grip off at the start. Here we seem to be looking much better so far, and now as we come on to lap 3, you can see that I'm piling a lot of pressure on Nick De Vries here, and we're going to see if we can maybe go for a move around the outside as we come into the final corner here. But we brake a little bit late there, and actually we go very deep into the corner, and that is going to allow not only De Vries to get back past, but also Lance Stroll to overtake me. Obviously he's in the Aston Martin and it's a lot faster. I don't know how he's down here in the first place. I guess it's just a poor qualifying. But now we're going to see if we can pile some more pressure back on him with the DRS as we go into the first corner. He brakes nice and late and somehow still makes the corner. Maybe I need to be more aggressive on the brakes, I don't know. But yeah, that allows the Aston Martin man away from us. And I think he's reclaimed P16. But his our fight isn't really with him, I don't think. You know, he's got a lot of pace in that car. He's significantly faster than us, I would say, in the Aston Martin. So yeah, I'm not gonna worry about him too much for now, and we're just gonna try and focus on our own race, try and defend from the cars around us, and maybe see if I can close down De Vries. But shortly after that, you can see that the gap actually started extending like crazy to De Vries, and I think my tyres were starting to go off. You know, starting on the softs, not necessarily the smartest play, but I thought that maybe they'd be able to hold out, despite the fact that in previous years' games I've always done a medium hard. I think you know, if I could rewind the tape, maybe I would potentially go for a medium hard strategy here instead of the soft medium that we're currently running. But yeah, we're coming under pressure from both Tsunoda and Piastri, and Tsunoda overtakes 2 cars at once to get up into P17 there, and we have fallen down into P18, but we do manage to hold off from Piastri for the time being. So yeah, these tyres going through some kind of weird, I don't know, graining phase or something like that at the moment. Really struggling on them to hold on to the position, and yeah, we're going to have to keep pushing, I think, if we're going to want to hold on to these positions for the next 5 or 6 laps before the pit stop phase. I'm just looking forward to when we get on the mediums now. This always happens when you start on the softs, and yeah, F1 23, no exception to that rule. If anything, it honestly feels like it might be a little bit worse, as Piastri is looking up the inside. I almost didn't give him room, and that could have been a big accident, but we do manage to hold on for the time being. He's going to have the DRS again as we come on the run down to turn 1 now, and we're going to have to do everything. I think there is almost no chance we're going to be able to hold him off. If he's got the DRS and the pace, he's going to be right alongside us as we come into turn 1. But who's going to win out? He brakes a little bit later than we do, and Piastri, the Australian man, is up into P18, and that pushes us down into P19, only ahead of both Williams and our teammate Enzo Fittipaldi now. And as we move on to the end of lap 8, you can see that we have managed to stick around with Piastri, so I guess his tyres are starting to go off as well, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to close him down a little bit, who knows. But yeah, not looking good for the time being. We're gonna try and maybe get ahead of him again using the DRS on the pit straight, and you can see that with a little squirt of battery and the DRS, it's a complete non-competition between myself and Piastri here. And yeah, we managed to get back into P18, but still a long way off our target of what was it, P15 I set. We still got to get ahead of both of these AlphaTauris and at least one of the cars up in front. I think it's Hulkenberg currently in P15, so I think that's going to be the goal here, is to maybe try and get ahead of Hulkenberg before the end of the race. But as we move on to lap 9, you can see that Piastri and I actually make a bit of contact there, as I do let him through in the hopes that I can use the DRS later to get back past him onto the start of lap 10. You know, that classic DRS chicken that people love to play at Jeddah. I think that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. And indeed, we managed to make our way into P18 once again. It was just a trivial loss of position. Meanwhile, you can see up in front, Tsunoda and De Vries battling for position. That's going to do nice things for me because it means I might be able to close them down a little bit. And as you can see, as we move on to the end of lap 10, I am only just over a second behind them. And I think we're going to box this lap actually 1 lap earlier than projected, because these tyres, you know, are on like 65% wear at this point. They're really struggling. I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to do another lap or not, so I thought, why not come in now, put some mediums on, and then they will definitely be able to go to the end with no issues or headaches or anything like that. And indeed, here we come into the pits, just behind Oscar Piastri, who's also pitting here on lap 10. So I think we're some of the first people to come in. Pierre Gasly, just ahead as well, is coming in. And yeah, I think everyone apart from that is going to be staying out for at least 1 more lap. The medium runners, I imagine it'll be 3 or 4 more laps before they come in yet. And there's an issue with the pit stop, unfortunately. We had a problem, despite the fact that we did get an optimal turn in. Could have been a potential to overtake Piastri in the pits. Unfortunately, that would not be the case. This is Pierre Gasly, who's just pitted, who came out a little bit up the road from us, and he becomes the first casualty of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And you can see that is a very nasty engine failure for him, and he's going to be pulling over to the side of the road momentarily, and that will spell the end of his race as he's getting overtaken there by Oscar Piastri, and I'm sure that we will be coming past in just a second as well. And now we move on to lap 12, and you can see that unfortunately, due to that pit stop error, we also got jumped by Albon through the pit stop phase. And yeah, we're going to try and close him down now if we possibly can. 2.7 seconds to Piastri up in front. I definitely want to try and get ahead of him and maybe try and challenge the Alpha Tauris in front as well. And that starts with getting ahead of Albon here. We set the fastest lap of the race actually, which I can't quite believe, but I guess we did have 3 squirts of DRS there to get ahead of Albon, so it kind of makes sense. And we make our way into P17 as we have a bit of a moment on the exit of turn 2. Yeah, we managed to hold on to the position, and we're going to try and close down Piastri for P16. Meanwhile, Magnussen in P15 is currently 10 seconds up the road, so that's going to be a big ask to try and make up 1 second per lap on him. I'm not sure if I have the pace to do that, but our engine has blown up again. I can't believe this. The second time in 2 races. We have yet to finish a race in F1 23, and today will not be the day that stops being a thing, unfortunately, as we pull over to the side of the track. That is going to spell the end of our Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at just over half distance. Unbelievable. I cannot believe that this has happened again. Absolutely infuriating stuff. And yeah, that is gonna spell the end of the end of our race, and most likely us falling to last place in the championship. You know, this is not the first time that this has happened to us in a season, but it sure is frustrating, and I can only hope that it is up from here as we move into the next few races in the season.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they've secured here.
So it is Sergio Perez who does manage to get ahead of the Ferraris and make his way into P1 in Saudi Arabia, the king of the streets as they call him, and ringing true here once again. Leclerc unable to hold on to the lead of the Grand Prix again, and also being overtaken by his teammate again. So yeah, the script somewhat similar, but just a different Red Bull man on the top step of the podium this time, and that is going to be it for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table.
And thanks to his performance today, Sergio Perez is now our new points leader in the Drivers' Championship.
Let's focus on driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. It was also a strong Grand Prix from Haas F1 this weekend. Fantastic work from the American team to move themselves further up the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
So, we are rock bottom of the pile in both championships. It is myself in P20, Enzo actually up in, I think, P18 or P19, ahead of a few cars, the likes of Sargent and De Vries, as well as myself. And, we're bottom of the Constructors' Championship quite comfortably as well, as things stand. But, hopefully we can get some upgrades on the car in time for the Australian Grand Prix, which is going to be the next one. And maybe, just maybe, we can actually finish a race for a change. And maybe even get into a competitive position. Who knows? But that is pretty much the story of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here. And 2 DNFs to kick off the first 2 races of our My Team Career Mode. Hopefully this is not an omen for what this whole My Team Career Mode is going to be like. But that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.